Saudi Arabia is trying to block a global deal to end fossil fuels, negotiators say.
Here's a summary of the article.
Lisa Friedman reports on federal climate and environmental policy from Washington. She has broken multiple stories about the Trump administration's efforts to repeal climate change regulations and limit the use of science in policymaking. Brad Plummer is a climate reporter specializing in policy and technology efforts to cut carbon dioxide emissions. At The Times, he has also covered international climate talks and the changing energy landscape in the United States. Vivian Nerium is the lead reporter for The Times covering the countries of the Arabian Peninsula.
This post received a score of 3,200, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The CEO of the UAE state-run oil company was in charge of running COP28. There was a session on making yachts more climate-friendly. More oil industry reps attended the climate talks than climate change experts. The industry is not serious about any of this.
So weird that the folks making billions off oil sales doesn't want to stop selling oil.
I'm absolutely dumbstruck by this. Nobody could have seen this coming.
Going back to camels, and they are deeply afraid of that.
His great-grandson won't be riding a camel. He'll be underground trying to escape the heat along with the rest of humanity due to the inhospitable climate.
Got theirs. Enjoy your rat.
Oil-producing kingdoms like Saudi Arabia face an existential risk. If the world transitions away from fossil fuels, and these kingdoms fail to develop technological engines of economic growth in clean energy, electric vehicles, software, AI, robotics, biotech, space exploration, and other new fields, they could become poor. Yes, kingdoms. Yes, in the 21st century. Yes, very different from the West.
I think they are getting their hopes up of Western countries running out of oil and willing to buy oil off them no matter the cost or terms in the future. One day we might see a flip in oil prices where countries will sell it for whatever they can get before it comes worthless, or not worth pumping.
You underestimate our need for oil. Oil is not only needed for transportation, but it is also fundamental for manufacturing plastics. Just because one market is crashing, does not mean that the other will too. And even if it does, other markets, e.g. plastics in construction, might suck up the supply in the long run.
And for anyone who doesn't believe the previous comment, here's a link to a list of some of the things petroleum products are used in. SciMed, what products are made from petroleum? I didn't realize toothpaste used petroleum products.
45% oil produced is used to make gasoline. Further 29% is used for diesel. That leaves 26% for everything else, and at that point I think it might just become unprofitable to run so many oil wells, which means selling them at whatever price will result in loss. This is assuming we don't find petroleum-free alternatives for other use cases.
That's all they have. What else would they do?
Golf tournaments.
Because they are a giant sand trap?
It makes sense for Saudi Arabia to stonewall as much as possible. The sort of crisis that causes famine, death and civil war. A committee that follows unanimous voting on this matter will be hamstrung. What options does the world have? If this committee excludes exporters, those exporters can then pressure committee members through export restrictions. A smart nation would invest in green energy now outside of this committee, so that when the axe does fall to pressure exporters, they're not as vulnerable to politically motivated supply issues.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.